Honourable Speaker, the government recently announced a $5,000 bursary for paramedic students who complete the training if they commit to stay in our province for at minimum 1 year. However, it has been brought to my attention by frontline emergency workers that retention is the issue. Paramedics have been leaving the province or the field entirely for several reasons, in part because their contract has been neglected and because they feel very undervalued. Does the government intend to introduce better supports for paramedics currently on the job and those who will be graduating from the new program?
Honourable Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care.
Welcome that question from the member for Tyndall Park. I think it's a really important one. Recently, the Premier, myself, the Minister of Advanced Education and Training all had the opportunity to be at Red River College to celebrate with a full class, the first full class of paramedic students in many years. That this is a milestone achieved by listening to paramedics. And what I heard loud and clear from those paramedics is that they want us to continue doing the work of making sure that there are jobs readily available for them across this province, that they get those letters of offer for employment from the Premier, myself, the Minister of Advanced Education and Training, and that we make sure that there's opportunities for them to get their skills in advance. So we're doing that work with regional health authorities and with Shared Health to make sure all of those things are in place.
Time has expired. The honourable member for Tyndall Park on a supplementary question.
Honourable Speaker, this government promised Manitobans 200 new paramedics, but halfway through their mandate, they've only delivered 18. MAHCP's response to the throne speech indicates that there is no plan to retain, recruit, or train any more paramedics. The impacts are harming hospitals and Manitobans with an average of 28% vacancy rate. And rural communities are feeling it the worst, with response times increasing alongside call volume and vacancies. Too often, experienced EMTs are leaving. Meanwhile, empty ambulances remain parked while Manitobans remain on hold with 911. Can the Minister of Health explain what efforts are being made to retain existing paramedics?
The Honourable Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care.
Honourable Speaker, the previous government froze the wages of paramedics for almost 6 years. Wow. And while they were freezing their wages, including during a global pandemic, they were also denying them the opportunity to work jobs across rural Manitoba. In fact, they wouldn't even allow folks to be trained as advanced care paramedics in this province to serve rural communities. There are very real consequences as a result of those bad actions by the PCs, including a net loss of almost 100 paramedics across rural communities. So the hole that was dug by the PCs and members on that side of the House is very deep. And we're working very hard to climb out of it by listening to paramedics and working with their leaders.
Time has expired. The honourable member for Tyndall Park on a final supplementary question.
Honourable Speaker, 93% of EMTs experience violence on the job. 78% feel burnt out, and 63% feel little to no support. In 2024, over 100,000 hours of overtime were filed by the Winnipeg Fire paramedics, costing Manitobans more than $7 million in overtime. I table this information for the House. Paramedics are taking time off for psychological injuries at rates 10 times higher than their firefighter partners. Will this minister commit to the paramedics watching today that their concerns are being listened to and will be considered during contract discussions in a timely fashion before more paramedics leave our province?
The Honourable Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care.
Honourable Speaker, we have been listening to paramedics from day one, and we're going to continue to listen to them and work with them every single day. I had a really good conversation with Jason from the Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals about paramedics just about a week or so ago. We continue to work with the Paramedics Association lead, Rebecca Clifton, who stood with us at our press conference to talk about the work that we're doing in partnership. And we're going to make sure that we do what is necessary to retain the paramedics that we have on the front lines, and that means hiring net new paramedics, which we're doing. And that means training record numbers of paramedicine learners, which we're doing. And that means keeping those lines of communication open, something that didn't happen for 7.5 years under the previous government. All they did was mistreat and abuse them and treat them like they didn't matter. We're taking a different approach.